Hi everyone, welcome to My Favourite Riffs, riff or video number 2. Hope you're doing well. So, I've got the Les Paul, so it means only one thing. Well, actually it can mean a number of things, couldn't it really? It could be playing a number of riffs. Oh, there goes my pick. I'm playing some Zeppelin. So, we're going to do Heartbreaker today. By the wonderful Led Zeppelin. So, yeah, I've been listening to a bit of Zeppelin recently. I hadn't listened to them for quite a long time. Going back again, the whole listening with fresh ears. I think it's such a, if you haven't listened to stuff that maybe, it's been a few months, a few years even, that you've really listened to a few albums, which is what I've been doing, going back listening to the back catalogue of bands. And hearing the riffs again with a new ear, picking up little intricacies, things like that. It's really valuable, so highly recommend to do it. Anyway, so the Page Master. Zeppelin, some of the all-time great riffs, right? Great songs, great riffs, everything. Everything about that band was pretty phenomenal. So. Yeah, I had to put a Zeppelin riff in there because it was an influence on me for sure. Still love listening to that stuff. So I remember I must have heard this riff, again in my teens, hearing this riff blew me away. I was like, that is so groovy. It's just badass. It's a great guitar sound. I remember there was a band back home in in the local town near to where I grew up. I grew up in a tiny village in North Wales. And there's this cover band that played every Friday. I think we must have snuck in there. Definitely used to go in there before we were 18 anyway. And they used to play Zeppelin stuff, the classic rock stuff. They'd be playing Zeppelin, Bad Company, Free, Sabbath, the classics. And they would play Heartbreaker. And I remember just hearing a band do it, even though obviously it's totally different. To hearing, but just hearing a band play it blew me away, and the riff is just great, awesome riff. Let's get down to it anyway. So I'll play it a little bit. I'll play it better than that. So, pentatonic bass riff, grooves. It's just, you got someone like Bonham behind the kit, can't be helped, right? Yeah, just such a cool riff. It's in A, moves up a tone to B just on that part where we just kind of move up and then back to A. A is the key of the song, right? So that's the home bass. So. Let's start it out. Again, as with all these videos, I'm trying to get, I'm not trying to sound exactly like Page. I've got the Les Paul. I don't have a high watt, so. But there's not, don't overdo it on the gain. You don't need to. There's not a lot on it. It's an amp cranked, right? I don't have that luxury, unfortunately, where I am. So I can't do that, even though I've just got this little Princeton pedal. I'm using the Dude, actually, the J-Rocket Dude pedal, which is great, which is circuitry based on a Dumble amp, I believe. I'm not sure which one. I can't remember now. I've had this pedal a long time, but it's a great overdrive pedal. Anyway, I digress. So you got first this bend on the 3rd fret on the low E string, which is a G note, right? So you're kind of bending up. You're going up, ready to hit that A, right? That A string. So I'm doing a little bit of a rake there into it, which is a good technique to practice if it's something you're not well versed in. And then open A to that 3rd fret on the A string, which is a C. Open D, 1st fret, D sharp, E. 2nd G note on the low E string, 3rd fret. Okay? I'll do that right there. It's quite hard to get that, you know, how I want it. And then the next part is the same thing, but just with, you're hitting that A string that 4 times, right? Next part, so you're doing the same thing, a tone up. Okay, so you got B, 2nd fret on the 5th string, to 5th fret on the 5th string, or the A string. You got this E note, F sharp on the D string, so that's 2nd fret, 3rd fret, 4th fret. Again, important to know your note names, that's why I tend to steer in that direction, rather than saying fret numbers, but I say both. And then you've got this bend on the 5th fret on the low E string, which is an A, right? It's quite tricky, sorry. So when I was playing it, I was moving that 1st finger up, then using 2nd finger for that F sharp. And then, so I had my 3rd finger to do this bend, because I feel like I've got more power in there, but good to practice both. And then, so you're going to do the B part, so let's go through that section. 2nd time, you do a bit of a wider bend there, and then you're back to the initial riff. Well, we're always in A, I'm just, you know, A is the home note, I'm just stating that because that's, we're in A pentatonic scale, if you like, okay? Here, B pentatonic. The key's still A, right? So, practice that's that part that's a bit tricky. And then get that bend a little bit wider, that 2nd time you're on that section. Back to A. You know, sometimes as well when you play this part, you know, you could play that A power chord there, right? And hit 2 strings there, play the A string and the D string, right? Okay? Slightly higher. Okay, maybe a little bit sharper. So, anyway, that's it. Okay, and it kind of moves up again after that, doesn't it? It does that before the solo. You know, you've got that section that happens. But I mean, the best part, you know, well, not the best part, but the main riff is that section. That's it. Have fun with that one. Yeah, such a great riff, right? One of the greats. You hear that riff, you instantly know what it is. It's just great. Sounds brilliant. Everything about it. It's just an awesome riff, and it was like a gateway for me to get into other bands, and yeah, go listen to Zeppelin again if you haven't done for a while. Is my takeaway from this. Another thing when you're playing as well, you'd often let the strings kind of ring into each other, if you know what I mean. It wasn't like super clean. You hear that noise that you get, right, if you just take your fingers off the strings. So it wasn't like, I don't know, it makes it even dirtier in a way, but it's not super clean, you know. So that's something else to think about there as well, where you kind of let the strings open up a little bit, if you like, rather than muting constantly with your left hand. Cool. Anyway, that's it for this week's. Next week we shall do another riff. Not sure which one yet. There'll probably be some more Zeppelin in there. But that, for me was like all-time riff when I was a teenager. It was Heartbreaker. Anyway, take care out there, guys, and yeah, hopefully see you in the next video. Thanks.